All right, get ready because today we are going to try to answer a question that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
What if, like, everything we think is real
Yeah.
is actually like an illusion?
Whoa.
We've got some excerpts from this discussion about false realities,
Okay.
and we're going to unpack it.
Sounds good.
And this is going to go way deeper than just like, is the Matrix real?
Okay.
You know, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I think what's so interesting about this topic is that it kind of brings together philosophy and like real science. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to be going through some theories
Of
that
that.
might just like totally change how you think about the world.
Okay, so let's just start with like,
Yeah.
just like a basic thing we can all agree on.
Okay.
I'm here, you're there, we're talking.
We're having this conversation.
Now, this is pretty real, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
I think, therefore I am.
Descartes said that.
Yeah, he did. That's like a good starting point, at least for like 20.
Yeah.
Our own experiences,
Okay.
But let's like push that a little.
Okay.
What if you imagine
Okay.
like the brain in a vat thing?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that? Where
Yeah.
it's like, what if everything you feel, everything you sense
Right.
is just your brain
Hmm.
being messed with in a lab somewhere?
Okay. That's giving me like
It's a little creepy.
sci-fi horror movie vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
But it does make you wonder, like,
Yeah.
how much of what we think is real
Yeah.
is really just our brain, like,
Right.
making up from, like, electrical signals.
Exactly. And, like our senses,
Yeah.
they're not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like optical illusions, hallucinations.
Mm.
Those are things that happen every day
Right.
that
Yeah.
show us how our perception
Yeah.
can be, like, tricked.
Yeah.
Remember that dress
Oh, yeah.
that went viral online a while back?
The dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people saw it as, like, blue and black.
Uh-huh.
Some people saw it as white and gold.
Right.
Same exact image.
Totally.
Different realities.
Yeah. It's like our brains are, like, filling in the gaps or something.
Totally. They're, like, trying to make a story.
Yeah.
Even if, like, the information's not all there.
Right.
Or it doesn't make sense.
Uh-huh.
And then on top of that, you've got quantum mechanics.
Right.
Where particles can, like,
Uh-huh.
be in multiple places at once.
Yeah.
Until someone looks at them.
Right.
And then suddenly, like, reality
Yeah.
doesn't seem so, like, solid anymore.
Yeah. Quantum mechanics always, like, makes my head spin.
It's pretty out there.
But I see what you're saying. Like, if reality is kind of uncertain at that, like, super tiny level,
Uh-huh.
could that, like, scale up to our whole experience of the world?
It's definitely possible.
Right.
And that's how we get to the
Yeah.
simulation theory.
Okay, the simulation theory.
Yeah, have you heard of that?
Yeah.
The idea that, like, our reality
Yeah.
is actually like a really advanced computer program
Yeah.
running on some, like, giant computer in space.
Okay, so we're going full Matrix here.
Yeah, kind of.
Is there, like, real evidence for this, or is this just, like, a fun idea?
Well, so this philosopher, Nick Bostrom,
Okay.
he has this argument that's based on statistics.
Okay.
He says if there are, like, other civilizations out there
Right.
that are, like, way more advanced than us,
Yeah.
and they can make simulations,
Right.
then it's actually more likely
Okay.
that we are in a simulation
Mhm.
than that we're in the, like, based reality.
So statistically, there's, like, more fake realities
Yeah.
than real ones.
Exactly.
Okay, I think I can understand that.
Okay.
Is there anything else besides, like, the statistics?
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff. Like, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
the universe seems to work based on math,
Okay.
like lines of code,
Yeah.
almost.
Right.
And also, people talk about these glitches they experience,
Okay.
like deja vu
Yeah.
or the Mandela effect. Oh, that's where, like, a bunch of people remember something,
Yeah.
but it turns out it didn't happen that way.
Oh, yeah, like that Nelson Mandela thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard of that.
Those, like, weird things
Okay.
could be glitches in the program.
Okay.
Some physicists even say that, like, space-time itself
Okay.
might be pixelated, like
Right.
computer graphics.
Okay, that's...
It's a little creepy.
Yeah, it's a creepy, but it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So if we are in a simulation,
Yeah.
then, like, who made it?
That's the question.
And, like, why?
Yeah, we don't really have answers to that yet,
Okay.
but it makes you think about some big stuff,
Yeah.
like free will,
Uh-huh.
consciousness,
Right.
the meaning of life.
Yeah. It's like the more we learn about the universe,
Yeah.
the weirder it gets.
The more questions we have.
But before we, like, go too far down that road,
Yeah.
what about, like, the idea that reality is like a dream?
Okay.
We've all had dreams that felt, like, super real, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so...
You're basically describing this classic philosophical problem
Okay.
called the dream argument.
Okay.
It was, like, talked about by Plato
Uh,
and Descartes.
right.
And it's like, how can we be sure
Yeah.
that what we're living right now
Yeah.
isn't just like another dream?
Yeah, sometimes it does feel...
It does.
really blurry.
And have you heard of lucid dreaming,
Uh-huh.
where people know they're dreaming while they're dreaming?
Yeah.
So what if our reality is like
Okay.
a really advanced lucid dream
Mm.
and we just haven't, like, figured that out yet.
So you're saying there might be like levels of reality
Hmm.
that we just don't even know about.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty wild.
It is.
And this kind of reminds me of some spiritual and philosophical ideas
Oh, yeah.
that say life is all kind of an illusion or a dream.
Totally.
Okay, my brain is starting to hurt a little bit.
I know it's a lot.
So we got simulations.
Right.
Dreams.
Mhm.
Are there any other ways that we might be like,
Yeah.
right, making false realities?
What if I told you
Yeah.
we're already really good at creating illusions? Even without like a big computer simulation,
Okay.
our minds are constantly like changing information and filtering it, often in ways that just like confirm what we already believe.
Okay.
It's like we each have our own like custom reality
Right.
that we live in.
So you're talking about confirmation bias.
Yeah, exactly.
Where we like look for info
Yeah.
that proves we're right.
Even if it's not the whole story.
Right.
And then you've got social conditioning, like how our families and our culture and like the media shape how we see the world
Okay.
from when we're born.
Right.
It's like we're all given these special glasses that we use to look at reality.
It's like that saying, we
Yeah.
don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are.
Exactly.
So even without some giant computer,
Yeah.
our brains are already
Already doing it.
making these fake realities.
Yeah, and in some ways, that's like even more freaky
Right.
because it means that the biggest illusion might not be the world itself.
Okay.
It might be how we're programmed to see it.
Okay, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
But can you give me like some real world examples of how this works?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Think about like the news
Uh-huh.
and propaganda. Like
Right.
whole groups of people
Yeah.
can be convinced of things
Right.
that aren't even true
Yeah.
just because of how the information is presented.
Okay, what about the placebo effect?
Oh, yeah.
That's like where people get better by taking sugar pills
Right.
because they think it's real medicine.
They believe it.
That's like the power of belief
Totally.
actually changing things.
And then there's the nocebo effect,
Okay.
which is the opposite,
Uh-huh.
where negative thoughts can make you feel worse. So both of those show us
Yeah.
that what we believe
Right.
can really affect us.
So even if we're not plugged into the matrix,
Right.
our brains are already good at delusions.
Yeah, they are.
It seems like it's hard to tell what's real and what's fake.
It really is.
Than we think.
Yeah, and that's like a big takeaway from this first part.
Yeah.
Reality is like
Yeah.
up for debate,
Mm-hmm.
and how we see things
Yeah.
is never really objective.
Yeah, this is giving me a lot to think about.
What?
I'm already seeing things a little differently.
Me too.
And we've only just started.
I know, right? We're just getting going.
Okay, welcome back. I don't know about you, but like after that last part,
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder about like everything. It's exciting and kind of scary.
It really is.
Right.
It's a whole new way of looking at things.
Yeah, and as we keep going, it's good to remember that even if we can't be totally sure, if we're living in like a fake reality,
Right.
just asking the question is like really important.
It is. It makes us think about
Yeah.
what we believe and why.
Okay, so speaking of things we believe,
Yeah.
one thing that's like really messed with me is that maybe like our idea of time is completely wrong.
Yeah. Time.
Yeah,
Like one of the most basic things we experience.
right.
But it could be way more flexible
Yeah.
than we think.
Especially if this is all like a simulation or a dream.
Exactly.
So you're saying like what we think of as time, like past, present, future?
Yeah.
That might not be the whole story?
Right. Think about dreams. Time
Yeah.
is like all messed up in dreams. You can jump around.
Right.
Relive moments.
Yeah.
It's not like real life.
Yeah.
So if our reality is like made up,
Right.
then why would time be normal?
Matt's had dreams where time was like totally weird. Like I was
Right.
in a bunch of timelines at once.
And what if our consciousness is like outside of time? That's when things get really crazy.
Okay, so time is more like a swirling river
Negative?
than a straight line.
It could be.
And that means like even death
Right?
might not be the end.
Yeah. It makes you rethink.
This is getting really deep.
It does.
Yeah.
It makes you rethink everything.
Yeah.
Like free will destiny.
Uh-huh.
If time isn't set,
Yeah.
do we actually make choices?
Hmm.
Or are we just following a script?
Those are some big questions.
They are.
And I don't know if I have the answers.
That's okay.
But if we can't even trust time,
Yeah.
what does that mean for like finding truth?
Well, I think it makes the search for truth
Okay.
even more important.
Right.
If how we see things is messed up
Uh-huh.
and we're always filtering info through our biases,
Yeah.
then we have to be really careful
Okay.
when we look for the truth.
But how do we do that if
Yeah.
our senses aren't reliable?
Yeah.
If time might be messed up? Where do we even start looking?
That's the tough part.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer. I think it starts with questioning everything.
Okay.
Like, don't take anything for granted.
Right.
Don't trust your own senses too much.
Right.
And be open to different ideas,
Okay.
even if you don't agree with them.
So it's like being a detective for truth.
Yeah, kind of.
We're gathering evidence,
Sure.
testing theories,
Yeah.
and being okay with changing our mind.
Exactly. And be ready to let go of beliefs
Okay.
that don't work anymore,
Right.
even if you've had them for a long time.
Yeah.
Truth is like a journey, not a destination.
This is all really interesting.
It is.
But I bet some people are feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, probably.
So what would you say to someone who's trying to wrap their head around all this?
First of all, don't freak out.
Okay.
It's normal to feel weird
Yeah.
when you start questioning reality.
Uh-huh.
And don't worry about finding all the answers right away.
Okay.
The journey is what matters.
So it's about asking the right questions.
Yeah.
More than finding, like, the perfect answers.
Exactly. It's about exploring.
Okay.
So, like, use these ideas as a starting point.
Yeah.
Read more about it.
Okay.
Talk to people who have different ideas.
Right.
And most importantly, just keep asking questions.
I like that curiosity is key.
It is.
But what about the practical side of this?
Yeah.
If we might be living in a fake reality,
Uh-huh.
does that change how we should live?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And there's no one right answer.
Okay.
Some people might say,
Yeah.
if nothing is real,
Uh-huh.
then nothing matters.
Right.
Like, why bother being good
Yeah.
or finding meaning?
Right.
But that's kind of depressing.
It is, and I think it misses the point.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There's a better way to think about it.
Okay.
If reality is more flexible
Yeah.
than we think,
Mm-hmm.
and our thoughts and beliefs
Right.
can kind of shape what happens,
Right.
then maybe we have more power
Okay.
than we realize.
So it's not about being like a victim.
Right.
It's about choosing how we see things
Exactly.
and how we react to the world.
Well, it's about realizing we have choices,
Okay.
like how we focus our attention,
Uh-huh.
being grateful for things,
Right.
and being mindful.
Okay.
Even when things are hard,
Yeah.
there's always something good to focus on,
I love that. It's
Yeah.
like choosing to see the good even when things are bad.
even in the dark.
Yeah. We're creating our own reality
Right.
inside our minds.
No matter what's happening outside.
And it goes back to that idea that
Yeah.
even if this is a simulation or a dream,
Right.
our experiences still matter.
They do.
Like our relationships, the love we share, the kindness we share.
It's all real. No
Yeah.
matter what.
So it's not about being all sad
No,
and giving
it's
up.
not about that.
It's about focusing on what matters,
Yeah.
what gives our lives meaning,
What's
whether
it
the
be?
world is real or not.
Right.
So even if things aren't as solid as
Yeah.
we thought,
Yeah.
we can still build something good.
Totally. We could.
You know, this whole conversation has
Yeah.
been amazing.
I've enjoyed it.
I'm still thinking about all this stuff,
Me too.
but I'm feeling more open-minded
Good.
and curious than ever.
That's great to hear.
And in the last part,
Yeah.
we'll talk about how we can use these ideas
Okay.
in our everyday lives.
Sounds good.
All right, welcome back to the last part of our deep dive into
Yeah.
false realities.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. We've talked about like simulations and dreams,
Uh-huh.
and even the idea that like our brains are always making illusions.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
It is, but now I want to like bring it back down to earth. How can we actually use these ideas
Yeah,
in our lives?
that's the question, isn't it?
It is. It's cool to think about all this stuff,
Yeah.
but it only matters if it helps us like live better.
Exactly.
So how do we do that?
Well, one thing to remember
Yeah.
is that none of us see the whole picture.
Hmm.
Like, we all have our own limited view of reality,
Okay.
and that can help us be more understanding of other people. Like,
Right.
we all have different experiences,
Mhm.
so we got to be cool with different opinions.
Like, don't judge someone.
Exactly.
You've walked in their shoes.
you never really know
Yeah.
what someone else is going through
Right.
or how they see the world.
And knowing that, like, our own perceptions might be wrong
Yeah,
makes us more humble.
it does.
It makes us less likely to, like, hold on to
Right.
beliefs that might not be true.
It opens us up to new ideas.
Yeah, so instead of arguing
Mm-hmm.
about who's right or wrong,
Yeah,
we can try to understand each other.
exactly. It's about listening
Yeah,
and trying to see things from their point of view.
which is, like, really important these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, the world is so divided.
Right.
But if we remember that everyone's reality is a little different,
Yeah.
it can help us find common ground.
Okay, that makes sense for, like, society.
Yeah.
But how about for, like, me?
Oh, yeah. For you personally.
Yeah, how can this stuff about false realities help me in my own life?
Well, it can give you more control
Okay,
over how you feel.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
If reality is more flexible
Right.
than we think,
Right.
and our thoughts and beliefs can
Yeah.
actually change things,
To some extent.
then we have more power
We do.
than we realize.
It's not about being a victim.
Okay.
It's about being in charge.
So I can choose
Yeah.
how I see things and how
Yeah.
I react to the world.
You can choose what you focus on.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to be grateful.
Okay.
You can choose to be present.
And even when things are tough,
Yeah, even then,
there's always something good to focus on.
there
You know,
is.
I like
It's about creating your own reality.
Yeah.
inside your mind.
No matter what's happening out here.
Exactly. And it goes back to what we said before.
Yeah.
Even if this is a simulation or a dream.
Our experiences still matter.
They do.
It's all real, in a way.
Yeah.
So it's not about giving up.
No, not at all.
It's about focusing on what's important.
On what gives your life meaning.
Yeah.
No matter what.
So even if things aren't as solid as we thought,
okay,
we can still build something amazing.
We can.
This whole conversation has been wild.
It has.
But I think the big takeaway is to use these ideas to help us grow.
To understand ourselves better and the world around us.
It's not about proving or disproving theories. It's about asking ourselves, how do I want to live?
Yeah.
What kind of person do I want to be?
Given all this.
Yeah, given all this weirdness.
Yeah.
Those are big questions.
They are.
And the answers will be different for everyone.
But just asking them can help us understand our place in the universe.
I think you're right.
I think so too.
And even if we never have all the answers,
the
journey is what matters.
It is.
So to everyone listening, keep asking questions. Keep exploring.
Never stop being curious.
The world might be less real than we thought.
But that's okay.
Yeah, we can still build something amazing.
We can.
Thanks for
joining us.
TH